As you can see, I'm really trying to bang out these episodes a little. This is episode 9. Really can't believe I'm this far behind, but everything I went through out there, it was hard to keep up sometimes. You drive, play golf for 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever it takes you. Drive 8, 9 hours. I mean, yeah, it's not like I'm having fun out there, but it still takes a lot out of you. So I want to talk a little bit about Blackwolf Run. Now, this is definitely a little more resort-oriented than Whistling Straits. It's in Sheboygan Falls. It's a gorgeous little town. I guess Kohler, I believe the company that makes faucets and stuff like that, toilets, showers, whatever they make, it's there. I believe that's the Kohler that has this resort. And it's like this, the resort's kind of not off the beaten path, but it's not on the course, which is nice. And like I said, it's in Sheboygan Falls, which is a beautiful little town out there. At least it was in the fall. And the course is kind of like right in this neighborhoody area. So it's real nice ride to get there. You pull in and it's you come up to this clubhouse it's much different than the Whistling Straits clubhouse. It looks like a giant log cabin. Very cozy, welcoming. And when I was there, it was very busy. They had a Green Bay Packers outing and a Goldman Sachs outing. And so there was a lot going on. But, it really didn't affect me in any way. I didn't get to see any Packers. I don't know where they were at, but I got to see plenty of Goldman Sachs executives. But unfortunately, I didn't get any of their autographs. But I got there a little early, or much earlier than I thought I was going to get there. And I, warmed up, did the warm-up and all that, and putted and chipped. And they have a nice little facility there. Nice little range, a short range. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful there. It was a gorgeous time of year. Everything's red and yellow and a little bit of green sprinkled in. This is probably my favorite course. I ended up playing with a gentleman from, I can't remember his name, but he's from Jacksonville, Florida. And, like anything, sometimes people are a little, you don't talk right away, or you just, exchange pleasantries. But in the end, we had a really good time. I'm glad I played with him. We, both kind of got off to a slow start. Actually, I think I parred the first hole, or bogeyed the first hole, and then parred the second. So not a bad start. But I didn't end up playing all that well. I didn't play terrible. I think I shot a high 80 or low 90. I can't keep track of these. I got all my scorecards sitting over there, but I'm not going to look through it right now. This course is just, it's hard. It's hard to describe. Like, it's not like drastic like Whistling Straits or, Wolf Creek would be with. It's carved out of all of these trees, and there's just like, there's one hole, I forget what hole it is. I want to say it's 4 or 5, but the tee box sits up real high, and it's like in the shaded wood, a small tee box, and you just look down onto this gigantic par 4 that has, really, it's pretty open, but it has this huge bunker that runs all the way up the right side. The river is, running next to that bunker. There's a guy in there fly fishing. It's like this perfect setup scene, for a picture. And it's just all those kind of views. And this course, just, it wasn't as, like I said, it's not as drastic as Whistling Straits, but there's like 3 or 4 holes that just have this perfect little river running right around it. Number 9 is probably one of my favorite holes I've ever seen. It's a split. It's not a very long, not super long par 4, at least from where we were playing it. You have 2 options. You can kind of lay up to the left, or there's trees here, and then the river kind of flows around, and then there's a little landing area on the other side of the trees. And it sets up so nice. I mean, I think. Well, the caddy told us. I mean, obviously, he could just be making it up, but he said it's one of it was Pete Dye's favorite hole that he created, and it's definitely up there in my favorite holes. And this was my best hole. Well, actually, yeah, I mean, it was my best hole today. I figured I was going to go over the river there and go for the landing area, so I did that, and I luckily made it and ended up in some rough, and then hit a pitching wedge or a 52 just off the back of the green, and ended up chipping in for birdie, and followed it up with a solid 7 or 8 on the following hole, which was a par 3. But yeah, maybe it's just because I was looking for peace and quiet. I don't know, but this was something else, and just the quiet that was out there. You could hear the streams and the river trickling, and it was a challenging course. There's definitely some carry, some tough bunkers, while definitely not as many as Whistling Straits. But the whole campus there is just gorgeous. It's much more cozy and welcoming than Whistling Straits, where you almost feel like Whistling Straits is more of a touristy destination. Even though it's not touristy, it just feels like that compared to Blackwolf Run, and that's personal preference, obviously. But it was a good time, and it was. I wish I had gotten to play, or I wish I would have just stayed, because the next day after this turned out to be crap anyway, and played their other 2 courses, the Irish course over at Whistling Straits, and then the Meadows course at Blackwolf Run. And the guy that I played with asked me if I wanted to go play Erin Hills with him the next day. But I was really just kind of ready to get out of there. In retrospect, I really should have stayed, but I have no regrets. It was a great time. The course is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen. One of the best golf courses I've ever seen in my life, and I'd really recommend if you're that's like a vacation destination. Even though there's really nothing out there in Sheboygan and Sheboygan Falls. It's a nice area, and it's if you're looking for peace and quiet and you want to play some golf and you can afford it, I would go there. It's definitely worth it. So yeah, that's about it. I think I covered everything there, at least that I wanted to. So that concludes another wonderful episode.